we're going to come back from this. I don't even know where to start.
Tonight, anguish and uncertainty in Southern California as the death toll rises and a new fire breaks out, just as law enforcement is warning about a curfew that could be put in place.
Keep people out of the impacted areas so we don't continuously victimize the people who have already been victimized.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Late today, authorities confirmed 2 people have died in the Pacific Palisades fire, and that brings the death toll from this week's fires up to 7. Those other victims died in the Eaton fire, which is still burning in the Altadena area. As both of those large fires continue burning out of control tonight, firefighters are battling a new fire that just started within the last few hours. Here is a live look tonight, an aerial view of what's being called the Kenneth Fire. This is burning in northwest Los Angeles in the hills of the West Hills area and the Calabasas area. It's already burned about 960 acres and it's 0% contained tonight. Sources tell our sister station KTVU Fox 11 in LA that this fire is being investigated as arson and that a suspect has been detained. Now, the scope of the damage from the Palisades and Eaton fires is becoming more clear tonight. First responders say as many as 10,000 homes and other structures have burned. The view from the air shows entire neighborhoods leveled in Pacific Palisades. A similar scene in Altadena, where some fire victims returned today to their burned out homes.
The kids were born here, raised them here, 20-some years. Built this and it's completely gone. Not just me, it's my whole neighborhood is gone.
I definitely feel like this is going to impact this area for generations. I mean, the landscape of Altadena has completely changed.
Both of those fires continue to burn out of control. They have charred around 34,000 acres combined. Law enforcement says they are beginning to respond to some reports of looting in those burned out areas. LA County Sheriff Robert Luna says a new curfew taking effect between 6 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning should help to crack down on criminals looking to take advantage of fire victims.
We have increased resources for our burglary and looting suppression. Unfortunately, there have been crimes out there that have been reported to us by residents who have evacuated their homes.
And today, President Biden held a meeting at the White House to discuss the federal response to these fires. And he addressed the criticism emergency managers have been facing over fire hydrants running dry in some neighborhoods.
Utilities understandably shut off power because they're worried the lines that they carried energy were going to be blown down and spark additional fires. But the Cal Fire, when it did that, it cut off the ability to generate pumping the water. That's what caused the lack of water in these hydrants. And so Cal Fire is bringing in generators to get these pumps up and working again so that there's no longer a shortage of water coming out of these hydrants.
The president also said today the White House has secured more resources from Canada to come in and help fight these fires. And we are joined live tonight by Marco Rodriguez with CAL FIRE, joining us live from Southern California to give us some insight on what firefighters are facing tonight. We appreciate the time tonight, Marco. Can I ask you first about the breaking news we're following tonight? Yet another fire that has started in Southern California, this one in the Calabasas, West Hills area. Can you talk about, we have fire crews already stretched thin. How do you sort of shift the crews in a situation like this to try to jump on a new fire?
Well, it's very dynamic. We continue to shift gear and adapt. Firefighters are doing their best to make sure that life and property is saved. Yes, and like you said, we are shifting, right? So we priorities life, and we're going to these different fires that are spotting all over the county. So this is an unprecedented time for us, and we're doing our best to make sure no more life is lost.
And just your quick reaction to the fact that from our reporting, that there is a person suspected of committing arson and starting at least this latest fire. Your reaction as you have thousands of firefighters trying to battle the flames across Southern California.
it's really demoralizing. I can't believe people are willing to do that. People are suffering. Complete neighborhoods are gone. Lives are completely changed for thousands of people, and yeah, it's really frustrating to hear that. We are doing our best to continue to protect life and property.
Yeah. Very disheartening to hear that. Let me ask you about the weather situation, because obviously that is very dynamic. We did have the winds. They backed off just a bit today in Southern California. Sort of felt like the crews kind of had an opening to maybe start to get a handle on some of these fires, grow the containment just a little bit. Is that what we saw today? Do you think you turned a corner at all?
We saw, like you said, good conditions, and firefighters were out there all day. Trying to take advantage of that break in the wind, and we were able to establish 6% containment on the Palisades fire. And we unfortunately are waiting to get more winds tonight, increase a little bit of the offshore winds. But we're doing our best, and it was positive break for us.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, the wind's really expected to pick back up later tonight. Maybe not to the extent that we saw earlier when these fires broke out, but you have a lot of additional help that has arrived here from all across the state of California, all across the West Coast, and as we just said a moment ago, we're even hearing about resources coming in from Canada to help out with these fires. How much of a difference do all of those resources make?
Oh, it's gonna make a tremendous amount of difference. We are, like you said earlier, we are stretched thin, but resources continue to come, and we feel that we got a lot of help coming, and we can start turning the corner, like you said, on this fire.
And tonight we are getting a better sense of really the scale of the destruction from these fires in Southern California. And the latest estimate is that at least 9,000 homes and other structures have been destroyed in those fires. Is it your expectation that number is going to continue to grow as damage assessment work goes on?
Yes, we don't have an actual number. We won't know the exact number until damage assessment teams will go in there and have an opportunity to really make a good assessment. But I would imagine so that that number will unfortunately grow.
Yeah, those aerial images really just stunning to see. Finally tonight, let me ask you about a situation that I believe unfolded just earlier today, and that was one of the firefighting planes down there in Southern California collided with a drone that was doing drops over the Palisades fire. I know this is something that CAL FIRE and other fire departments have warned about on wildfires here in California, and that Super Scooper plane had to be grounded because of the damage. Can you just talk a little bit about just how dangerous it is to have people flying their personal drones over these fire zones?
Well, fortunately, we saw that that airplane was able to make it and land safely, but that could have easily been catastrophic. And while we continue to try to fight and contain these fires, we can't be worried about other people creating other hazards for us. So we are asking everyone to stay away, be patient, and we'll do our best to keep you informed and make sure that this fire that goes out soon.
Yeah, a long way to go for you and your colleagues. We appreciate the time tonight. Thank you for doing it. Marco Rodriguez with CAL FIRE. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, we talked a bit about it there. The winds died down just slightly today across Southern California, but firefighters are expecting that the winds are going to pick up as we move through the evening hours. Let's continue our coverage tonight on these fires with KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez. And Roberta, you're tracking the red flag conditions expected at least through tomorrow afternoon.
Absolutely. These winds are going to continue to accelerate from time to time. Right now, what we're also tracking is the plume from the smoke. Thank goodness it is moving out towards the open waters here instead of settling over the Los Angeles basin. But you can see the steering winds in the upper elevations guiding some of this smoke into the Monterey Bay area. A bit of a haze there tomorrow for your Friday. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the high fire danger that continues. Red flag warning in effect until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. High wind warning in effect right now until 2 p.m. tomorrow. and so is the wind advisory. To break it down for you, to simplify it for you, the blue is the wind advisory, the red is the warning, and you can see it also encompasses Ventura County. Now keep in mind, we have been graced with plentiful rain showers across the northern half of the state of California, while the southern half, the last time we've seen any notable rain in Los Angeles was on May 5th. Wow. So you couple up the winds that will be increasing with extremely dry, drought-like conditions. That's why you have the fires that continue to burn out of control. Relative humidity at 37% right now with the Palisades fire. The winds are flat. We also have flat winds as we move due east towards the Altadena area with the Eaton fire. Those winds are up to 7, but we do have a bit of a breeze now to downright gusty conditions in the brand new fire, the Kenneth fire, just outside of Calabasas. That also encompasses 2 counties. We're talking Ventura and also Los Angeles County. Red flag warning, again, it is in effect until 6 o'clock tomorrow. The main condition for that is because strong winds are still anticipated, and also the relative humidity will drop down into the single digits. We will continue to monitor this as well as your full West Coast wrap weather forecast. Alex, that's still coming up.
All right, we'll check in with you in just a bit. Roberta, thank you. In the midst of this unfolding disaster in Southern California, authorities are working to address rumors and misinformation spreading online. TMZ talked with the Los Angeles Fire Department about a video that's been circulating across social media showing firefighters trying to put out a small trash fire this week using bags of water from their truck. Some online suggested the firefighters were so desperate they were using handbags to douse the flames. Fire officials tell TMZ those claims are simply untrue.
That is not accurate at all. In fact, these are canvas bags that the fire department actually carries around for the purpose of putting out very small fires. This is something, it's just, for them, it makes more sense than hooking up to either a fire hydrant or one of their pumper trucks and running a full hose when it's just, in this case, just a dumpster. The internet now is a place where there's a lot of misinformation that's going out there, and it really adds to the anger and anxiety that people feel about this.
And early on, some crews fighting that fire in the Pacific Palisades area found fire hydrants that had run dry. Officials say water storage tanks in that area just couldn't keep pace with the demand. Coming up tonight on West Coast Wrap, these fires have created a lot of uncertainty about the future of the insurance industry across California. Tonight, what all this devastation means for homeowners who are already struggling to try to secure coverage. Also, New Mexico's Supreme Court weighs in on abortion restrictions. We'll break down what a new ruling means for the future of reproductive rights in that state. Back now to the fires burning across LA County tonight, and here are live pictures showing us the latest fire that has broken out in Southern California. This is being called the Kenneth Fire, and it's burning near Calabasas, northwest of Los Angeles. And from these live pictures from the air, you can see a lot of active flame in that shot, that glowing orange in the middle of your screen. And we know a lot of homes in this area, and there were evacuation orders. Authorities say already this fire has burned about 1,000 acres, and there is no containment on it tonight. Also, we can tell you that sources are telling our sister station, Fox 11 in Los Angeles, that this particular fire is being investigated tonight as arson, and they also understand that a suspect has been detained. We'll continue following that fire tonight. The devastation from this week's fires in Southern California is leaving many people to wonder whether they'll face challenges trying to get affordable fire insurance coverage in the future. As KTVU's Janet Katsuyama reports tonight, many California homeowners were already having trouble finding affordable policies even before this tragedy.
So far, there is no official dollar amount for the LA wildfire damages, but initial estimates by some experts put it at $20 to $50 billion for insurers.
They've gotten billions of dollars in rate increases over the last 2 years. Now they're going to have to pay those claims.
Harvey Rosenfield is founder of Consumer Watch and author of the Prop 103 law that requires insurance companies to justify any rate hikes. He says consumers have been losing coverage as the industry tries to adjust to year after year of catastrophic wildfires.
But a lot of people around the state have been unable to afford insurance. Even the rich folks in Pacific Palisades here in LA some of them did not renew their insurance coverage, which means they're not covered at all.
Trying to find ways to cover those costs and continue writing policies in these high-risk areas is going to be a challenge. The LA fires come just as some insurance companies, such as Mercury, announced this week that they plan to return to issuing policies to areas in Northern California, such as Paradise, that have been devastated by fires and abandoned by many insurers. The state had negotiated new rules with insurance companies. The Department of Insurance says the LA fires will not impact those new rules, which allow insurance companies to use new tools to better assess fire risk as they set premium prices and coverage.
California has been the only state requiring insurance companies to use backward-looking historical data when they look at their future rates. And so that's the change. Insurance companies are going to be able to use forward-looking, what we call catastrophe models. And those models have to incorporate the billions that are being spent on wildfire safety. So as we make ourselves safer, we're going to see that reflected in rates. That didn't happen before.
Jana Katsuyama, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And to stay up to date on these fires, head to our website, westcoastwrap.com. Our online coverage there includes links to before and after images showing how the landscape has changed in some of those burned out neighborhoods across Southern California. New technology on display at this week's CES in Las Vegas is showcasing some of the ways that we may be able to fight fires in the future. Tech company Delfire is showing off a device that it says can help detect wildfires as they break out. The company says the device uses artificial intelligence, chemical sensors, and several infrared cameras to identify fires. The device also sends alerts to those who are at risk.
Our system is always running, and every 30 seconds, the AI on board of our system itself is scanning for flame or smoke. That allows you to rapidly detect a fire, and when we detect something, we backhaul the data and we send an alert with a picture so that you not only know the GPS coordinates, but you also know that it's a real issue where we're calling for a fire. You can instantly recognize a picture as a person, and I think a picture is worth 1,000 words.
The company MyRadar also showed off its app designed to send alerts to people in the path of wildfires.
Not only are able to plot the location of the fires on the map, but using satellite imagery are also able to show our users where potential hotspots are burning.
And other companies displayed electric fire trucks. They say the trucks are zero emission and designed to operate for long periods of time. Today, New Mexico's state Supreme Court struck down abortion restrictions set by some conservative cities and counties, and this ruling preserves access to abortion procedures across the state. It also reinforces New Mexico's position as being one of the most liberal states when it comes to abortion laws. The justices ruled that state law precludes cities and counties from setting their own abortion restrictions or regulating abortion clinics. Today, people came together at the nation's capital for a final farewell to former President Jimmy Carter. Today, he was honored with a state funeral at the Washington National Cathedral. All 5 living presidents were there to pay their respects. President Biden delivered the eulogy. President Carter, a former naval officer, engineer, and peanut farmer, died at the age of 100. He will be laid to rest in Plains, Georgia, where he was born. In the San Francisco Bay Area, people gathered today to honor the late president at 2 memorials organized by Habitat for Humanity. One of them was held at San Jose City Hall and the other was at Oakland City Hall. These events were part of a worldwide effort by Habitat. The nonprofit put up memorial doors for mourners to sign. Organizers said it symbolized how the late president's work opened doors for thousands of Habitat homeowners. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, winter storms causing a lot of trouble for drivers in the West. Tonight, see how heavy snow brought traffic to a standstill in Colorado. Time really is running out for TikTok. The app says it will shut down in 10 days unless the Supreme Court intervenes. The justices are set to hear oral arguments tomorrow over the law that will effectively ban TikTok unless its Chinese parent company ByteDance sells it off. President-elect Donald Trump has dropped his earlier support for a TikTok ban to give him and his incoming administration time to reach a, quote, political resolution on the issue. It's unclear if the court will take Trump's viewpoint into account when it ultimately makes its decision. A man is in custody in northern Arizona tonight, accused of transporting more than 550 pounds of cocaine. Photos from that bust that happened on Monday show all of those recovered blocks of cocaine. The estimated street value between $16 and $22 million. The drugs were found during a search of a commercial truck on Monday after police say they pulled over 31-year-old Amarjeet Matharu for traffic violations in the town of Holbrook. He's now been booked into the Navajo County Jail on several different offenses. Investigators believe those drugs were being smuggled from California to Canada. A cold snap gripping a large portion of the United States has a lot of birds headed to the southwest. Sandhill cranes have been spotted migrating through Arizona this week. State wildlife experts believe about 40,000 of those birds are in the city of Wilcox right now. The winter journey is bringing out the crowds.
Just looking at the schedule, and we're all full for that weekend, and so it's always a good weekend for us. It helps fill up all the hotel rooms. You know, you'll go to the restaurants on the weekends and see they're full, and all the especially the tasting rooms.
The city of Wilcox will be hosting its annual Wings Over Wilcox Festival tomorrow. The event gives visitors a chance to learn about all of the birds. Sandhill crane sightings are expected to run through the end of this month. Quite a scene there in Arizona. People in Colorado, they're watching the snow pile up tonight as a storm moves across the Denver area. The severe weather has led to traffic tie-ups all throughout the day. South of Denver, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office is warning people to stay off the roads if they don't need to travel. Conditions are expected to improve as we move throughout the night. Let's bring back in KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez, who is tracking those conditions and the winds continuing to challenge firefighters in Southern California. Roberta?
Alex, let's go ahead and head to Colorado because, boy, was that a gorgeous scene. The cloud cover and the snow has now pushed out of the area, all associated with this massive system to the south, scraping across Dallas, Texas. And you see the combination of rain, thunderstorms, sleet, and snow as it traverses to the southeast. Back at the ranch. Pacific Northwest, Seattle today, average high temperatures 50, topping off at 52 degrees. And meanwhile, look at those clouds over Phoenix. Those clouds all associated with that system over Texas. 65, which was, bam, spot on for this time of the year. San Francisco, average highs 57, so a good 11 degrees above average, visibility unlimited. You see the plume of smoke. That's all associated with the Eaton fire that continues to burn out of control in the Los Angeles area with the red flag warning in effect. Gusty winds expected through the weekend. High temperature there today, seasonal at 70 degrees. The extended forecast, I cannot find a raindrop or snowflake in sight. We've got sunny skies for Seattle over the weekend, Los Angeles smoke and haze, and seasonal conditions. Alex?
Okay, Roberta, thank you so much for the update. And that does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. Have a great night.